a cura di Enars Ballet Dance School, su un concept di Camilla Baccini, scusa, che è una bravissima insegnante di danza tra l'altro, e lo spettacolo si chiama Plastic Planet. Accomodatevi e restate. Grazie.
Have the courage to face the realities of our time and allow ourselves to feel deeply enough that it transforms us and our future. Through the eye of beauty. Across an ocean of grief. And beyond.
I'm here to show you what the reality of this situation is on planet Earth. Behind the scenes, what people are not seeing. So this is what Paradise is turning into.
is the story of 3 plastic bottles, empty and discarded. Their journeys are about to diverge, with outcomes that impact nothing less than the fate of the planet. But they weren't always this way. To understand where these bottles end up, we must first explore their origins. The heroes of our story were conceived in this oil refinery. The plastic in their bodies was formed by chemically bonding oil and gas molecules together to make monomers. In turn, these monomers were bonded into long polymer chains to make plastic, in the form of millions of pellets. Those were melted at manufacturing plants and reformed in molds to create the resilient material that makes up the triplets' bodies. Machines filled the bottles with sweet, bubbly liquid, and they were then wrapped, shipped, bought, opened, consumed, and unceremoniously discarded. And now here they lie, poised at the edge of the unknown. Bottle 1, like hundreds of millions of tons of its plastic brethren, ends up in a landfill. This huge dump expands each day as more trash comes in and continues to take up space. As plastics sit there being compressed amongst layers of other junk, rainwater flows through the waste and absorbs the water-soluble compounds it contains, and some of those are highly toxic. Together, they create a harmful stew called leachate, which can move into groundwater, soil, and streams, poisoning ecosystems and harming wildlife. It can take bottle 1 an agonizing 1,000 years to decompose. Bottle 2's journey is stranger, but unfortunately no happier. He floats on a trickle that reaches a stream that flows into a river, and a river that reaches the ocean. After months lost at sea, he's slowly drawn into a massive vortex where trash accumulates, a place known as the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Here, the ocean's currents have trapped millions of pieces of plastic debris. This is one of 5 plastic-filled gyres in the world's seas, places where the pollutants turn the water into a cloudy plastic soup. Some animals, like seabirds, get entangled in the mess. They and others mistake the brightly colored plastic bits for food. Plastic makes them feel full when they're not, so they starve to death and pass the toxins from the plastic up the food chain. For example, it's eaten by lanternfish. The lanternfish are eaten by squid. The squid are eaten by tuna. And the tuna are eaten by us. And most plastics don't biodegrade, which means they're destined to break down into smaller and smaller pieces called microplastics, which might rotate in the sea eternally. But Bottle 3 is spared the cruel purgatories of his brothers. A truck brings him to a plant where he and his companions are squeezed flat and compressed into a block. Okay, this sounds pretty bad too, but hang in there, it gets better. The blocks are shredded into tiny pieces, which are washed and melted so they become the raw materials that can be used again. As if by magic, Bottle 3 is now ready to be reborn as something completely new. For this bit of plastic with such humble origins, suddenly, the sky is the limit.
Centri commerciali, grandi magazzini, la trovi dappertutto, lucida, rigida, statica, un vero killer, si chiama plastica. Opaca, trasparente, spessa, sottile, gettata dal finestrino sul marciapiede di una strada buia dopo una notte di righe. Raccolta e spostata nel cassone, davanti a scuole in mezzo a grandi palazzi. Passano anni, aspettiamo l'ora, in questo secolo fa bisogno a quell'asso, ce n'è troppa e non si deteriora. Invade il quotidiano, il nostro futuro, e velocemente scorre i fiumi, tuffandosi in mare. Purtroppo nessuno se ne può disfare. Si fanno campagne video per limitarne l'uso, ma per qualcuno è scomodo, fuori moda, anche se il pianeta lascia la traccia come un abuso. Si riga, si rompe e non fa rumore. Se la bruci, inquina e lascia un tremendo e cattivo odore. Si scioglie, si deforma si fa sentire, fino al punto da non farti respirare. Per l'essere umano sembrava una soluzione e invece un segnalino della nostra istruzione. Comoda, pulita, pronta per 1000 usi. È sempre in crescita il business degli illusi, che non pensano a parole. Con gli occhi umidi non hanno parola. Quando noi ascoltavamo il nonno che raccontava, sul selciato il cavallo galoppava, tirando su polvere e qualche sassolino. Pensavo inquinasse, ma ero solo un bambino. E quell'acqua limpida, trasparente, bevuta in bottiglia, tirava le mie labbra, appagando la sete, sognando il futuro. Adesso è tutto uso e getto, e di tasca anche il mio. Che ha guardato nascosto gli anni a venire, oggi uomo, un po' deluso, pensieroso, con nel cuore la speranza, che in maniera virale si svegli la coscienza, riportando piano piano tutto al punto di partenza. Quando il cibo si serve in terracotta, i profumi del bosco, del legno, e dalla spiaggia si poteva canticchiare quanto è limpido tutto il mare. La vita scorreva serena, diversa, più elastica. Il mondo era impolverato, ma non era di plastica.
And I believe that the biggest danger is not our inaction. The real danger is when companies and politicians are making it look like real action is happening, when in fact almost nothing is being done. The time I spent in the US so far, it has been good. It's incredible to meet all these activists around the world because we are so different in many ways, but we are fighting for the same cause. People always talk about this 12 years left, 11 years left to reduce the emissions by 50%. And then I learned that that was for a 50% chance of meeting, of staying below the 1.5 degrees warming limit. And those figures are also global, so they don't mention the aspect of equity. Also, they don't include many feedback loops and non-linear tipping points. All the numbers are sort of like compromised in a way, and it feels like people don't want to make people not pessimistic, but they don't want to tell how it is because then people might give up. We cannot just say all these negative facts, we also have to tell positive facts so that people will not give up. And those positive news can be like, oh look, here are some new solar panels. But we have to tell it like it is. We have to tell people the whole truth, or at least have the whole truth available, that if people want to know, they can look at it. I think that we have definitely made people open their eyes, at least some people, and but we are not saying like you need to listen to us. We are saying you need to listen to the science and to the scientists. We are trying to give the science platform and try to speak on behalf of them. If a child or a young person talks about these issues, of course it's more powerful in a way, because we are not the ones who have caused this crisis. We just happened to be born in a world where there was this big existential crisis that has a lot of impact on people. People feel very guilty when a child says, "You are stealing my future." People sometimes ask me if I'm an optimist or a pessimist, and then I say I'm a realist, that if we do the changes required, then we will prevent this from happening and we will succeed.